Okay, hi everybody. Welcome to Phil and Dave's Excellent Adventures. Just Dave here. Today I'm talking about the movie The Blackening. This is going to be a spoiler review, so if you haven't seen the movie yet and you are concerned about spoilers, I would suggest you go and watch the movie first before you watch this review. So, The Blackening is a horror comedy movie about a group of friends who rent a cabin out in the woods and are forced to play a racist game and are, well, pursued by people who want to kill them. So, as far as what I liked about the movie, overall, I thought the cast was great. I really liked Grace Byers as Allison. Jermaine Fowler as Clifton was hilarious. Melvin Gregg, who I just saw in the House Party remake, I liked, was funny as King. I liked Mayo a lot as Shanika. Dewayne Perkins, who also wrote the movie as the character Dewayne. Antoinette Robertson was good as Lisa. I liked Sinqua Walls, who was in the White Men Can't Jump remake recently, as Namdi. And Jay Pharoah's in here briefly, and Yvonne Orji in the beginning. And Diedrich Bader, always good. I liked him as Officer White, too. So normally I don't go through the whole cast, but in this, I just really thought all the cast was really good. I enjoyed them all. And I really appreciated that each character stood out as like a unique character, and I could figure out who they are, and I could identify them all from each other, which sometimes with a large ensemble cast, it's kind of hard. So for this, though, they were all well-defined, unique characters, and I liked them all. And I wanted to see what happened. So that was cool. I really like the song "I Can't Stand the Rain" by Ann Peebles. It's been stuck in my head since I watched it, but great song. Obviously, one of those, I think, on the Rolling Stone list of 500 greatest songs of all time, and certainly deserves to be there. It's a great song. I like the mask design on the killer. It's a somewhat racist kind of caricature design, but also it's scary looking. It looks pretty cool. I liked it. I really liked a lot of the humor in this, and that's really what this movie is. It's a comedy movie, and its point is to make you laugh. And I thought a lot of it really worked. One of the first jokes that made me laugh was when Allison was talking about having a white dad and about like how she's afraid, she's going to end up on Dateline or something like that. All funny stuff. I really liked all of that. I really pretty much once they start playing the game, I thought, well, really once Clifton shows up, I think, but once they start playing the game, I thought it was so funny. I loved the stuff about Fresh Prince because she's like, then Ashley started singing, and I was literally just talking about when Ashley started singing like the day before. So it was just funny to hear that. And that got me to laugh. And then the Friends joke I thought was so funny when he's like, yeah, the correct answer is I didn't watch that. I watched Living Single. Great. I loved it. I liked the O'Reilly joke. That was really funny. And the way they sing it, oh, no parts. It's a good song. Yeah, I love it. All the Android jokes are funny to me because I also have an Android, so like I get it. The Sister Act 2 reference where she's like, you better wake up and pay attention. That was also good. Great stuff there. Like I said, the character Clifton overall I thought was really funny, maybe a little over the top, but he always made me laugh. What I really appreciated about this movie, other than the humor, and again, very funny movie, everyone acts very logically. It's always so frustrating when you watch a horror movie and people do stupid things or they do stuff that just doesn't make any sense. And I realize you're in a stressful situation, but sometimes it's just done because it's bad writing, and that's frustrating to me. And in this, I feel like almost all the characters consistently act in ways that logically makes sense. They're not doing the dumb horror cliches of, running upstairs instead of running outside the house, or, letting the killer get away once they're down, and like all that kind of stuff. So I appreciated that actually a lot. I really like that the movie kind of talks with a lot of issues about being black enough and how black they are, which is, from what I understand, a problem in the black community. I mean, I'm obviously not in that community, but interesting thing. And it's something I've definitely heard people talk about before, and it's interesting to talk about. I like that discussion. I like that there's some pretty good kills in here. It wasn't amazing. It wasn't over the top, crazy, but pretty inventive, pretty fun little kills. And that's always good with a horror movie. I really like the whole talking to each other telepathically thing, because they set it up early where the two women are doing it, and then the guys start doing it, and they're like, oh, I didn't know we could do this. And then Clifton's like, yeah, I can hear you guys. That was all great. I really liked that joke. That was really funny. I liked when he threw up on the guy. I think it was, I don't even remember who did it now. Dewayne, maybe? Either way, somebody threw up on the guy. That was really funny to me because I like dumb kind of humor like that. And the movie at that toward the end there just honestly made me cry laughing, which is the ultimate goal of a comedy as far as I'm concerned. I laughed out loud several times in this movie, at least probably 15, 20 times. But yeah, toward the end there, I had a couple tears for him, and that's good. That's what I'm in for. So that was very good. I really appreciated there's a lot of setups and payoffs too, which even some that I almost forgot about. Like there's a cayenne pepper thing which kept coming up, and eventually they do use it. Hey, there you go. But even the Kool-Aid cramps thing, because that was pretty early on, and I kind of forgot about it. And then it comes around right when he's fighting the guy and he gets the cramp, and you're like, oh yeah, that's right. I forgot about that. So that was great. I really liked that a lot. The "We Can't All Die First" is a great tagline. I think the overall themes and execution were really good. And I really like the ending where they're talking like, should we call the cops? And they start laughing like, no, we're not going to do that. And the guy's, I'm going to call the fire department. And then they're like, did you change clothes? And he's like, yeah, we're going to be on the news. And then fire department comes and sprays him down with the hose. Good stuff. Funny. I mean, also terrible and tragic, but that's what makes it funny. So yeah, I really appreciate it. I really, really like this movie a lot. First, what I disliked about this movie, like I said, I do love I Can't Stand the Rain, but the rest of the songs in it, I didn't love as much. I didn't hate them, but like the opening song, it wasn't terrible, but I don't really like rap, so it's not really my genre. And the same thing, the song at the end, at first I didn't like it, but I will admit I actually did find it kind of catchy. It's a little repetitive, but toward the end, I was like, yeah, okay, this is fine, as I was walking out of the theater. Movie is definitely, it takes a little while to get going. You do have a quick kill at the beginning, which I'm like, oh, cool, this movie is going to be more horror than I expected. And then it takes maybe, I don't know, 20 minutes, a half hour to kind of set up the characters and do all that, which is fine. But it does take a little while to get going. Now, once it does get going, once they start playing the game, it's great. But that little time in between is maybe a little boring, a little slow. Not boring. The movie is definitely predictable. It's pretty obvious who the killers are. You can pretty much guess, although there's a twin, but this is a spoiler review. But yeah, you do realize that it's the creepy, racist guy at the convenience store is in on it. And of course, Clifton is in on it because, again, pretty obvious, I think. But the whole story and all that, the reasoning behind his rationale made sense to me. Like I said, the twist is a little obvious. The CGI arrows when Shanika is swimming are pretty obviously fake, but again, that's understandable. You're not going to shoot real arrows at somebody. The vent thing kind of irritated me too, because at some point they're like I assume it's a vent, and I'm like, no, that can't be a vent. That's insane. And I realize it's a comedy movie and you can do goofy stuff like putting people in vents, but this movie had been so realistic. And then all of a sudden I'm like, wait, they're just in a vent? You can't fit two people in a vent. That's insane. And then a third person gets up in there and I'm like, okay, fine, whatever. It's silly, absurdist. But the rest of the movie wasn't like that. So that was just a little out of place. The Adderall thing was, again, not terrible to me, but it's just like when people treat like Adderall like it's some kind of super drug that gives you superpowers. I'm like, that's not really how it works, at least not from my experience. But I don't know. But again, minor thing, not that bad. And it is a little weak on the horror. Like I said, it starts out with a kill, and then it's definitely more of a comedy than a horror movie. But it definitely does have some horror in there, and I do appreciate it. And it is well done. But I'd say it definitely leans more toward the comedy side of the horror comedy. Other than that, the movie is directed by Tim Story, who did the first Barbershop movie, did the Fantastic Four movies with Jessica Alba. And Ride Along, the Shaft remake with Samuel L. Jackson from 15, 20 years ago. It was written by Tracy Oliver, who wrote Barbershop, The Next Cut, which I think was a sequel to Barbershop, and Girls Trip, and Dewayne Perkins, who also played Dewayne in this. And he was a writer for Brooklyn Nine-Nine for a while, which makes sense that I like this. I was a big Brooklyn Nine-Nine fan. What I loved about this movie too, it only had a $5 million budget, which blew me away. Because actually, at some point, I was watching the movie and like I was pretty impressed by some of it. I'm like, man, they spent a decent amount on this, but no, they didn't. No, they spent $5 million on this, so that's nothing. It's already made $6 million, so I'm sure it'll be profitable. Lionsgate did have to pay $20 million for the distribution rights, but I just love seeing a low budget movie. We don't see them very often anymore, and so it's cool to see that and to know that people can make a movie like this and it works and it's great. So the Rotten Tomatoes on this is 86% critics, 84% audience. So pretty unified there. Everyone likes it. And I think it's great. I think I've said this before and I know it's stupid, but I had this idea like 15, 20 years ago. I'm sure other people did too, but I'm like, once the kind of cliche of like, oh, black people always die first. I'm like, what if you made a movie with all black people? That would be really interesting. And obviously, I'm not the person to tell that story, but I think they were, and they did a really good job with this. And a lot of it is really just similar to the way that I wanted it to be, exactly what I imagined, kind of thing. Not that I'm trying to take credit or anything like that, but I just think it's funny. And so it's the kind of thing that I saw this and I was like, yes, I am there for this. I'm so stoked for it. And it delivered. It did exactly what I wanted, exactly what I hoped for. So I loved it. I think it's the funniest movie of the year so far. I thought it was hilarious. I would highly recommend it to anyone who likes horror movies or likes comedy movies at all. My score on it's going to be 9 out of 10. I think it was great. I really liked it a lot. I really enjoyed it. It's a great time. So if you saw the movie, let me know what you thought of it down in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you have a great night. I will see you here again next week.